ready to tag in and experience the world of professional wrestling like never before. Welcome to the Hot Tag Podcast with Billy and Sal. Salvatore.
Billy.
We're back.
We are. And we got a special guest this week, no?
We do have a special guest this week. I'm actually very excited because me and you know this gentleman for many, many years. Brilliant mind in the world of professional wrestling. Has a very strong opinion on things, which I absolutely love. And I think it's only fitting that he joins us today on the show. So everybody, introducing me and Sal's very good friend, PJ Stackpole. Patrick is on the line.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to join you. I've been watching on social media what you guys have been up to. I love it.
Thanks, Pat.
We miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
And the feeling's mutual, fellas. The feeling is mutual. But that's what I like about these podcasts. They're a way to keep your toe in the wrestling water.
Yes.
But actually having to deal with all the bullshit.
Absolutely.
Speaking of dealing with all the bullshit, I think it'd be the perfect time to segue into our first topic of this evening.
Oh, I couldn't wait to get him to talk about this. This is going to be tremendous.
Okay, so as you guys know, CM Punk is just engulfing everybody's Twitter feed for the last 2 weeks.
Why? What happened? What I missed?
Well, Pat, you missed a lot. So, good old CM Punk has been fired by AEW.
What?
Who would have seen that coming?
Listen, if I had a nickel for every time I read CM Punk did something backstage at AEW, I could have retired these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's what we call a heel program, fellas. There's no baby face in this whole thing. So it's very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Everybody in here is culpable at some level. I mean,
and
everybody
Sal,
has a part in this.
All I keep thinking to myself, Sal, is all of this over Colt Cabana.
That's what I
Do
said.
you really believe it?
Yesterday. Oh, no. Who did I said that to somebody. My buddy Phil, actually. I was on the phone with my buddy Phil, not Phil Brooks. My buddy Phil. And I was telling him, I was like, all this over fucking Colt Cabana. If you really break it down to
Colt
this
Cabana. All of this drama and nonsense and wrestling chaos all over Colt Cabana.
He must be a great friend or something. I don't know, because that's...
Or a terrible one.
I saw a meme.
I don't know how you look at it.
I saw a meme online today, and it was like Adam Page, Colt Cabana, who else was it? Kenny Omega, all like doing like a strut, walking into the AEW locker room now that CM Punk's gone.
Yeah, like a bunch of classmates when their classmates get suspended and they strut around. They're dealing with children.
Okay, so
oh my God.
Pat, did you see or hear what Tony Khan, his statement was?
I read it.
Okay, so we have a video clip. I'm going to get into this video clip right now just so that the people know what the hell we're talking about. This is Tony Khan explaining why he had to get rid of CM Punk. So we'll all listen in and then we'll come back on it.
Today I had to make one of the toughest decisions of my professional career. Today I terminated Phil Brooks, CM Punk, for cause. This stems from a backstage incident at AEW All In last Sunday. The incident was regrettable, and it endangered people backstage. That includes the production staff, the people who help put the show on every week, innocent people who had nothing to do with it. I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years. I've been producing them on this network for nearly 4 years. Never in all that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday, that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show. I don't think anybody should feel that way at work. I don't think the people I work with should feel that way. And I had to make a very difficult choice today. It came at the recommendation of a discipline committee here in AEW, as well as outside legal counsel who delivered a unanimous recommendation. And I have followed up on that recommendation. I'm sorry to any fans who are upset by this. I'm sorry to anyone who's upset by this.
I can't even fucking finish that.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions. Like, where is he giving that statement? Because I know he gave one in front of the Chicago audience. Where is he giving that statement?
So that statement is in front of like a blue screen. I guess this was. I don't know if this was released online. I don't think they played this at AEW, right?
Could
I
he
think
have
they
not
did.
have
I think it
redone
was
a
the
couple
opening
times?
promo. Actually, now that you say it.
Okay.
Could he not have redone it a couple times?
First
Like,
of
what
all,
was that?
he looked like he looks like a fucking gerbil. I hate. Listen, I don't like to talk crap about anybody's looks because, listen, I'm a few
You're
French
a handsome
fries.
man. You talk all you want to.
I'm a few French fries short of a heart attack. But this guy, the way he stares into the camera,
He looked like a serial killer.
It's like the lights are on, but nobody's home, and he's a smart guy. It's insane. But
So are most serial killers.
Patrick, PJ, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna call you this evening. Handsome, bearded, bald man.
Patty,
Did
I was
know?
gonna say for your regular listeners, if I slip and call you Ian and call Sal Cyrus, they're gonna know who we're still talking about, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not. I'm not.
I can't remember ever calling you William. Sal, I've called Sal before. I can never remember calling you Billy, not one time until today.
It's weird, right? It's very weird. I didn't know his name was Billy for like the first 3 months that I knew him.
I actually called Sal in a match halfway across the ring.
PJ was involved in that.
Yes.
Well, as you probably wrote it that way.
Yeah.
Just to make it feel real. But I hear what you're saying about Tony Khan, and he is frustrating, and he does seem somewhat socially awkward. Yeah. But out of everyone involved in this, at the moment, he might have been the one who did the right thing, or the most stand-up.
Finally, took him long enough.
Or the most justifiable thing, because
yes.
to fire Punk, period, and then furthermore to announce it to the Chicago audience instead of just waiting a day. You know, he could have just very easily said it's under investigation, we're waiting. For him to do that, I got to give him some credibility. I didn't know he had it. I didn't know he had it in him.
Now, do you think that, because what you just brought up was a great point, he could have waited an extra day? Well, technically, yeah, it would have been right in between both shows. He could have waited an extra day. Do you think that he chose to announce it specifically that day to maybe get as like a political stunt, or do you think he just was like, listen, we reached a recommendation, I'm going to pull the trigger right now?
I think he had a lot of wrestlers in his ears, probably Jericho, probably Kenny Omega, saying, you got to do it now, Tony. You know how workers like to rile up innocent promoters that don't know any better. You got to do it now. You got to get out in front of it. You can't make it look like you're running from it. You got to be a leader. And he did it.
Right. And you also got to give him credit, too, because like you said, Pat, it was he went out there, but, you know, he knows that most of those people probably paid money to see Punk, so he didn't want to let anybody down. I'll give him that. You know, just announce it right off the bat. This guy's not going to be here. Don't get your hopes up.
To their face, took accountability.
Yeah. Speaking of the Chicago crowd, let's also play a clip of Tony Khan absolutely getting booed out of the building.
Well, before you do that, Billy, obviously we haven't spoken about the reason why this all happened.
No. Yeah, we're gonna get into that as soon as we get through this video clip. We'll come back and we'll get into all the details from 90210's son to the whole thing.
Changing by the minute, man. The story is like getting worse and worse.
Yeah, but you know,
Phil Brooks had a fucking gun pointed to Tony Khan's head.
And
that's going to be next week.
To be honest with you guys, yes,
knife point.
I want to show this clip about of Tony Khan getting booed out of the building because I have something to say after it, and I think it's going to shock a lot of people. It didn't shock me, and I don't think it shocked PJ, but it definitely shocked a lot of people because a lot of people were talking about it on Twitter today. So let's get through this clip, and then I will say what I have to say. You see, when he sits down on the folding chair,
No.
my heart sinks for him.
I almost feel bad for him, man.
Yeah.
His
Almost
knees
feel
were
bad for him.
buckling.
Yeah, he looked like a school teacher. He was like, "I'll wait. No, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll wait. Let me know when you guys are ready, so I
I've
can
said
talk."
that before.
So, but here's what I wanted to say. I didn't see a lot of footage of the fans hijacking the show, even from tonight. They're in CM Punk's hometown. I didn't hear a lot of rumblings, and I could be wrong because All Out's still going on. But I thought they were going to hijack the show.
Thought it was going to
But
be more hostile.
Yeah, it wasn't. Why is that? Me and Sal have been saying this. Are people getting sick of the CM Punk news now?
I
so.
think that's part of it, and also I think that's a reason he did it right out of the gate to get that negativity out of the way early, so that maybe you would have a hope that the show would go on. And there's a lot of people, it has a really cult following. I know Punk kind of does, but AEW has a really weird group of fans. No disrespect
You don't
that
say.
he might be listening, but they're a weird group, and they are
You don't
obsessed with
say.
this product, and they're not going to be – Punk is not going to matter. They're going to just power on business as usual.
Yeah, I think AEW has a lot of indie wrestling fans. So I feel like there's a few types of wrestling fans. You have like the lifers for WWE like me that I grew up watching. It was the only thing I grew up watching. Occasionally WCW, but I got brought up on Hulk Hogan's, the Macho Man's, all that Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Yokozuna. That's how I got brought up. But then you have a lot of guys that are more into like the Japanese style, the ROH, the indies, and
But are they?
so
I was about to say it, Sal. Are they really, or are they retroactively liking it because they're obsessed with AEW?
So that's my point. It's like you have the two types of fans, right? You have the indie wrestling fans, and then you have the WWE fans. But the indie wrestling fans they'll die on the hill for their company that they like. The company could be putting out, because listen, AEW has had a lot of booking issues. A lot of shit doesn't make sense. We're gonna get into a clip later on.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, William, but you just said it right there. You're an E guy. I'm definitely an E guy. Sal, I'm not sure. You might be, but we admit when they make mistakes. We can admit when WWE is doing something terrible. We have no qualms about it. Getting these people to admit anything that AEW does is stupid. It's impossible. It's impossible to get them to admit it, even when they know it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sal.
I see people defending some of this garbage booking. Like, I mean, listen, I love Jericho from back in the day, but there is no denying that people's momentum gets killed as soon as they work a program with him. But these people
he
will still
attaches
defend
himself like a barnacle to whatever the top thing is, like a barnacle. He attaches himself to it. He sucks it dry, and they go off and die, and he just skips on his merry way.
Or what about like Kenny Omega's supposed to be one of the centerpieces of the company, no? Like supposed to be your guy, you're John Cena, and he's booked like shit, and then these people will still defend it like no, but he's having big matches with fucking Takeshita. Like what the fuck is Takeshita?
Sal, they won't just defend it. They will try to convince you that it's great.
Yes.
They won't just say it is what it is, they will try to tell you it is good. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, God forbid you say that
Maybe he shouldn't wrestle with his hands in his pockets. It's kind of embarrassing. It's silly. You can't even say that. Can't even say that.
I like Orange Cassidy.
Fuck him. You know what we did when he wrestled? You know what we did when he wrestled for us, Sal? We put a fucking mask on him.
Pat hates Orange Cassidy. It's so funny.
I don't hate the man. He's very talented. He looks good. I just wish he took this more seriously. It's embarrassing.
But I think that's the gimmick, though. That's
if he's
the whole
wrestling,
character.
Ian, and someone walks into the room, if he's wrestling, I turn it off like porn was on. Like I'm that embarrassed. Like I don't want. I scramble for the remote and change it.
Yeah. I understand it. Listen, there's a fine line between entertainment and pop in the crowd. I feel like that's a big AEW thing. They love the pop from the crowd. To them, the pop means that the product is good.
Yes,
like the pop
but
in
like
the
they
back.
do what WWE does off the air. Like when Raw's off the air, they start doing silly shit.
Yeah.
Not in front of an actual camera. Undertaker doing a spinneroonie. You wouldn't see that in front of a camera. It'd be a couple of thousand people who were there saw it.
Yeah.
You also said like to pop the audience, but they also like to pop each other in the back, and I feel like they
Yes.
work too much towards that.
PJ, what did you call it when we were texting each other about the Stadium Stampede? What did you call it?
I don't remember. I would look at our text now, but I'm afraid if I close out the
It
app that we're
was.
using, it'll disappear.
I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm pretty sure it was something along the lines of like, you know, mental masturbation for the boys in the back or something like that.
Oh yeah, masturbatory. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything they do is
Yeah,
sure.
they love popping the guys at the back, and that's a thing for me. It's like, yes, we want to be entertained, but our clip of the week this week, right? So we've been highlighting wrestlers here and there, but there's some clips that have been coming out that I really, think that some of them are just straight up hilarious. Some of them are stupid, and some of them are absolutely just feats of, acrobatics and strength that we need to highlight. But this week's clip is the Canadian Destroyer spot with Orange Cassidy.
Don't get into it now if you want to do it later.
I'm not going to get into it now, but my point is, it's spots like that they do that to me doesn't make sense, and I think it hurts the business. But they do it because they get that pop from that indie fan base, and to them that they think, okay, the crowd is reacting. The match was fantastic. I don't think that gets you longevity in the wrestling business. What do you guys think?
Well, I think one thing that if you hear a lot of like some of these older guys talk about this younger generation, specifically in AEW, is they don't listen to nobody. They're very much, this is the way we're going to do it. This is the way we've been doing it. This is what got us here, so we're going to continue to do it this way. Not realizing, okay, cool, it got you there, but you're still in a growing company that needs to reach a broader fan base to maintain, to stay afloat, really. Like, all right, yeah, you're averaging a little less than 1 million viewers a week, but when was the last time you broke that? You're not gaining any new audience members, and like, don't you want to? Don't you want to go to new places and like do new things and reach new people? And unfortunately, sometimes the style I think that they work is, which is like a very, like you have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy that. I think to not look at that and be like, well, that was fucking stupid. And it is what it is, but that's what they want to do.
And how is it now, Sal, that someone like me who's loved wrestling their whole life, they have a pay-per-view right now. I wouldn't watch that pay-per-view if you paid me to sit and actually watch it. I'll get the highlights, I'll catch up with it, but to alienate me, and I've seen a lot of wrestling, most of it not good, some of it great.
I'd say a lot of bad.
And we've seen a lot of bad shit. It is what it is, and I'll admit what's bad, and what was bad was bad, and what was good was good. I had a fight with someone on Twitter a couple months ago. Every time I said something AEW was doing dumb, he tried to, didn't have Lord Tensai. And I was like, yeah, well, that was stupid. And this is stupid, too. Like, he kept trying to make it a tit for tat.
Right. That's what they do. That's what wrestling fans, even the WWE fans, do that now. It's like, well, and it's like, dude, can't we just, like, if you don't enjoy something, don't watch it.
Yeah, it's that simple. I'm not saying
why is everything such a competition between these two? It's like, listen, some people enjoy both. I kind of enjoy EW. There's things that I watch and I'm like, that was really dumb.
There are things about it to like, for sure.
Right. That was like, but there's some things I'm watching, like Ian's going to bring it up later. I'm just like, that was stupid to me. But then I'll watch something like the Punk and MJF program from a couple years ago, and like that's worth me spending my time to pay attention to what's going on.
Even something that happened tonight, I'm very interested in. MJF and Samoa Joe got into it at All Out tonight. That's something that piques my interest. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I, won't watch AEW. I just think that, I think we, circling back here, it all boils down to what we spoke about in the beginning. Tony Khan and all the wrestlers in his ears. I don't think it's healthy to run this company like this. I think he kind of got off a little bit, maybe firing CM Punk, because maybe that was his big statement to make. Like, okay, listen, I'm taking this serious now. I don't care what name you have, what value you have. You are getting fired if you do something stupid backstage. I just like, for me, there's so much high school drama backstage. The whole situation with CM Punk and Jack Perry. Both men could have handled it differently. We spoke a little bit yesterday about the possibility that maybe Punk wanted out. Hey, what's up,
Sabotage.
bud? Yeah, do you think maybe CM Punk was like, "Listen, I want out." Even after his match, Sal pointed it out to me. He threw the title on his back, walked out with the one in the sky. Maybe a little homage to Roman Reigns. He said goodbye to the fans. Maybe Punk was tired of the backstage drama and he saw this as a way out.
Yeah, I hope that's the reason, and I would love to see CM Punk come back to the E and rob Cody Rhodes of his main event at Mania. That would be some type of an irony.
I just want to see him come back and be another victim of Roman Reigns.
Well, let me
That'd
tell
be
you,
tremendous.
if it wasn't self-sabotage, then, and again, as I said, this is a heel program. Obviously, Punk was being sabotaged by other people within the company, probably out of fear and jealousy, being the elites and the quote-unquote EVPs. But if he didn't purposely sabotage himself, then the man he's probably got to get some help or something, because it's not good to be involved in that many temper tantrums, and not just temper tantrums, costly temper tantrums. Temper tantrums that are going to cost him millions of dollars.
You know what's weird too? I mean, think about it like this though. Like, if you look at all these, like the common denominator and everything with all these people is him, right? Like he's got the issues with fucking Ryan Nemeth of all people, Jack Perry, the Elite, but like,
well,
at
if
the
you
same
remember,
time,
there was beef with Cody Rhodes too.
right?
Remember, he was the first problem that they spoke about, so it wasn't always around Punk.
That's what I'm saying. And my thing with Punk, just in general, it's like, imagine you're probably the biggest name in the company, right? At least worldwide recognition.
Absolutely.
And then
no
you
question.
got Jungle Boy Jobber Jack Perry on the pre-show taking a shot at you. And then you got to cross his path to go to the ring. Are you not going to be like, dude, what the fuck was that? Mind you, this is fucking, the biggest show of the year, the biggest show they've ever done, in front of the largest audience they've ever been in front of. And this guy's going to pull something like that. That would never happen in the WWE. And if it did, the Undertaker probably would have beat this guy up. So,
well, there is a point of comparison. If you remember, Jeff Jarrett one time when he returned back to WWE after hiatus called out Steve Austin and said that his shirt was blasphemous, that 316 was blasphemous. Do you recall this incident?
Yes, I do.
I do. But I think that was
He went to the back. Austin gave him a fucking verbal reaming and said, I never want to work with that guy again. That's how a professional handles it. He didn't punch him in the fucking mouth when he got through.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that was a little much, especially considering the issues he's already had with hitting
and
people.
Now they say he lunged at Tony.
Yeah. He got like apparently inches away from Tony's face. I'm actually just reading something now because now news is coming out daily. And I don't know if you guys heard about, apparently CM Punk had an issue with William Regal when William Regal debuted for AEW.
Then I just gotta get off the Punk train completely.
Yeah, so I'm
that's
reading
gonna make
this.
me.
I don't know if this is true or not. This is pure speculation, but according to Bodyslam.net, this is who broke the story. Multiple sources have confirmed details about an incident that took place between CM Punk and William Regal. William Regal walked into the building. Punk refused to shake Regal's hand, would get in the legend's face, telling him that he didn't trust him and that he thought he was a stooge for Triple H. So apparently this happened months and months and months ago, and nobody really spoke about it. But now all the dirt's going to come out on CM Punk.
I struggle.
I'm kind of skeptical of it, to be honest, upon hearing it. I'm a little skeptical.
That's why I said pure speculation right now.
I find that hard. He's very respectful of these old timers that, put him over and stuff like that in the past, especially.
Right.
Like that seems a little iffy to me. That's probably. I want to know who. I mean, we'll never find out, but I want to know who some of these sources are. Could you imagine, again, going back to the biggest show you've ever seen in your life in this company, and then the first thing you're going to do before the match even starts is run to the internet to say that this guy got.
You know who's releasing these stories? It's not a mystery. It's coming from the elite guys.
Of course. More than like, or at least somebody in their camp.
In
If it's
somebody
not
else.
them directly,
Absolutely.
it's somebody in their camp. Probably Brandon Cutler.
I don't even know who that guy is.
He's the one that films the Being the Elite shows.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh,
I like the Bucks too. That's the way to say. I like them a lot.
Yeah. I like the Bucks. I think the Bucks are an amazing. I think the Bucks are a legendary tag team.
I'm a member of the Super Kick Party.
Yes, you are. But
I just think it's also like on there. I mean, me and you, Ian, have talked about this. It's like these guys supposedly care about AEW and the growth. If they would have just like worked with this guy, could you imagine the money that this company could have made?
yeah, and apparently they were supposed to have a sit down, and the sit down
Like,
got
they canceled that.
canceled days before it was supposed to take place.
But if I'm CM Punk, I'm feeling like somebody's fucking with me too.
Yeah.
Like, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
they were fucking with him, but at the same time, you're making millions of dollars. So just
Right.
shut up and
Yeah.
don't be fucked with. Have some thicker skin.
Or you
Yeah,
know,
no, 100%. He's got to grow up.
the elite.
This guy's
The
45
elite,
years old.
maybe
getting
the
in
elite
fights in the
really
back.
wanted him out. You know what I mean?
They
Maybe the
definitely
elite. Yeah,
They
did.
definitely did.
they
It's a
made his
heel
life hell
program,
until he
fellas.
quit.
They're all assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Notice?
that's,
Did you see what they did yesterday? Apparently, one of the Bucks was taking a victory lap around the ring in Chicago. I don't know if it had anything to do with the Punk thing,
Yeah, I'm sure it
but
did.
it is the coincidence of the timing is
Everything they
You know,
do,
not
if it
lost
wasn't
on me.
purposely for that, they knew it would be interpreted as that, and they do it anyway.
exactly.
Listen,
But they've always
I-
been like that, though. They've always
Yeah.
been like trolls, and that's kind of what their appeal was for the longest time.
yeah, yeah. They always would put things in their Twitter bios.
They
Yeah.
make gear out of shit. They've named their finish the Meltzer driver. Like, you know, like they've
Insane.
always been
Insane.
trolling people.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't you say that they did like a bunch of spots where like they mimicked CM Punk's botches?
Yes. That was kind of funny, though.
It was funny.
Like,
Yeah.
That was funny.
It's funny if you get an angle out of it eventually. Otherwise, they're just jerking off.
Yeah.
But that's what that company is.
Yeah.
Yes,
and this is
the
my
circle
problem
jerk.
with AEW. Yeah, it's a circle jerk for sure. That's what.
You
that's
remember
what
when
my problem
Taz
with
fucking
AEW
shit on
is.
our boy Mike Verner? Come on.
I did.
Unforgivable.
Oh,
AEW.
we'll get to him later. I was saving that.
Yeah. Screw you, Taz. He's a
I like
Johnny
Taz.
Rods. He's a Johnny Rods guy.
I know, but I like Taz. But
Nice.
other than that one moment, everything else about him I love.
Yeah, I can't
Fuck
believe John.
Peter Inertia.
Pat, I don't know if you know this story. When I first was getting into wrestling training, I had my first meeting with Johnny Rods, and he wanted to make me a part of a tag team called the Rigatoni Brothers. We were going to be two pizza men that were going to wrestle in like chef's outfits, and I thought it was an insane idea. And then fast forward, you get a pizza guy on AEW. There
Ian,
go.
you know what? You know what though? You would have done it. You would have embraced it, and you would have gotten it over.
Yeah.
You really would have.
Yeah, I would have been hitting people with salami and mozzarella left and right in every match. You know me. I like the
Yeah,
actors.
it would have been a jobber fucking tag team. You would have did it showing up 30 minutes late to every match.
Pat would have still been my manager, and he would have been throwing 00 flour in people's faces.
Throwing flour in people's eyes. Slinging salami would have been tremendous.
Do we agree right now? I know AEW has a lot of growth to do, and I hope that they grow because I love wrestling competition. I love when there's two companies out there that, you know, competition is so healthy. It makes everybody better.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if that. Do you think WWE is viewing this company AEW as a threat to them right now, or are they laughing at all the bullshit that's coming out of it?
Probably both. Probably both. I think they're not competitive in certain ways, but I think just the idea that they exist, just the idea that they have television time, just the idea that they're an alternative, just the idea that they can pack a stadium, it's gotta. Right. I don't think they're gonna take WWE's spot by any means ever, but certainly there are people within that company. You know how that company is.
Yeah.
You know how they feel. Yeah, I'm sure they take it personal. I'm sure they want to crush him, and I'm sure they're going to book Wembley for Mania. Or they're going to do something in England to run counter to what they're doing next year.
I agree. I think it's both. It's you can't deny them. I mean, they just put 81,000 people in a fucking building, so you can't deny that they exist. And they got, and they got a good, like Pat was saying earlier, like a very cult-like fan base and a lot of. But at the same time, they're probably looking at the infrastructure of this place and pissing their pants.
Mm-hmm.
So from the sources online,
Oh, good God!
apparently, and this is according to Fightful Select, which I like Fightful Select.
Pat does not.
Pat does not. But listen, they
I don't know if I hate Fightful Select. I
You don't
have
like
a
Sean
general
Ross Sapp,
distrust
I know
of all
that.
the news media, but
Yeah.
you were saying, William.
I think Sean Ross Sapp, out of all the dirt sheet quote unquote writers, is probably the most fair one. He seems to leave his bias at the door at most points, at least from what I see.
I like him.
So
I don't know him, but
but I know off topic. I know Pat maybe. Did you see that run-in he did a couple months ago?
Who? Sean Ross Sapp?
Yeah, that indie show.
I
He
did not.
He had a mask on, did a run-in, hit somebody with some sort of move, and when he took the mask off for the big reveal, all 13 people in the audience did not react one bit. It was hilarious. I had no
Boys,
idea.
if we were still running today with our companies, FBW, FSW, we might very well have done the same thing.
yes.
So I
Yes.
can't knock it. I've done worse.
Yeah. So they put 81,000 fans in the stadium in Wembley. A week later, all out, they struggled on ticket sales, $29 starting ticket price. They struggled. From what I read online, they moved, I think, it was like prepaid tickets bought was like 9,000 tickets.
How many? Hold on. What does the building hold?
I'm gonna Google it right now because I'm not sure, but
I'm pretty sure they run the building. It's only like 11 or 12,000 that they can hold. So 9,000 is not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible, and they are struggling in America, and they got and they're a little starved for wrestling in England. So
right, that's why they put 81,000 people in that building. They put 81,000 people in there because they've never been there, and like you said, they're starved for mainstream wrestling.
And WWE ignores them, so maybe it'll be a wake-up call.
Do you think AEW could pack out fucking Jacksonville, Florida? Probably not.
No, I don't.
Neither way.
Yeah, I don't think so. If they're listen, I think the moral of this story is they need to get their shit together backstage. Tony Khan needs to grow some balls. I think them firing Punk is hopefully doesn't go in vain, and they don't let a bunch of more crap happen backstage. And I want them to succeed because that means that the wrestling business is booming, and that's when we win, the fans win.
Mm-hmm.
But just watching Tony Khan give that statement, and seeing how long it took him to make a decision, and to have it's like the Wild Wild West to me in the locker room. The spots that they put on TV sometimes, like we said, they pop the boys, they pop the crowd. It seems very indie wrestling fed with a very, very large budget, and I hope that they can start to get into better long-term storytelling, the compelling stuff.
Tony Khan needs to stop trying to book. Just be the money guy and let other people take care of everything else. He has no idea what he's doing in so many regards.
But see, now
the fact that they let CM Punk run rampant around their company for a year, basically, or maybe a year and a half, depending on whatever. Listen, because it's like Tony Khan's like, oh, CM Punk's my favorite wrestler of all time, so I'm gonna, do whatever I can to keep him. And you know what I mean? It's like you just can't do things that way. The EVPs, you can't have wrestlers being in charge of decision making like that.
Yeah. Now,
and putting titles on themselves.
Right.
Where does CM Punk go from here?
I think he goes back to the E.
You think so? Sal, what's your vote?
If I had to assume, I would say he's done, but I hope he's laying down for Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble.
I hope he
Yeah.
comes number 30 at the Rumble because he likes money and he's spiteful. So being spiteful
Yeah,
for
but you know what?
money
If he comes
seems
back, don't you
very
think he
on
comes
par
back?
for CM Punk.
If he comes back, don't you think he comes back at Survivor Series in Chicago?
I mean, that would be the smart
That'd be
play.
nice too. And Vince is gone, so he can keep a little. He could save a little face and say, "Look, my issue was with Vince. Vince is not as much part of the company. I think right now
Oh, man.
WWE with this merger needs to really make some buzz, and I think he will be better in a more controlled environment at WWE, where people do what
100%.
they're told and people
Yeah.
listen to what comes from the top, and maybe they could be a little more on top of him and his proclivities."
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if he goes back to the E. I think I'm gonna throw a wild card out here.
Impact.
I think he does commentary for an MMA company.
He already does that, though.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna do that full time. I think he's done wrestling after this. That's what my listen. I would love to see him in the E. I just don't know if he'll ever work for them. I don't know if they want him. Do they want a 45-year-old Phil Brooks? Do they want?
If there's money to be made out of somebody, they never hesitate to bring them back.
Yeah,
But also, you have to weigh the option. Is the money to be made enough to outweigh the fucking the stench of CM Punk right now? He's
You
got
gotta
a
let
bad
it
rap.
cool
He
off
always
a little
has.
bit. Don't
He
get me
always
wrong.
has a. Yeah, but it's been a year and a half of just like constant issues with this guy.
there was a
Is
sign
it-
tonight. There was a sign tonight out all out. A guy in the front row, and it said Tony Khan cured cancer.
Yeah. There's not. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a
That's
funny
their
thing
fan
before.
base.
Say what?
That's their fan base. Imagine Vince McMahon fired a guy like right before their hometown show, the biggest guy in the company.
He would have
You
made a
think that-
workout. He would have walked out, been the biggest heel of the night. He would have made it at work.
Yeah,
would've
but I
did it
mean,
in
just
the
from
ring,
the
made him kiss
fans'
some ass,
perspective,
fire him
this
for
guy could do no wrong. Tony Khan is the saint. He is the second coming. He could do no. I'm not saying he shouldn't have fired CM Punk. I think that's the only that's the only thing you could have done.
Yeah.
Realistically.
There's a weird cross section of like weak, snowflake, soft fans that are wrestling fans, and Tony Khan found them. They were there. They were there and ready. Like I don't remember wrestling offending so many people as it seems to now. And all the people that are so easily offended by everything seem to gravitate toward Tony Khan because he's like a nice guy in wrestling.
Right.
It's strange.
Well, yeah. I also never seen so many like fans just so obsessed with guys having problems with each other in the back. It's like, who cares? They're grown ass human beings. If they're gonna fight, let them fight and let them settle it. Why is every fan in the world got to have an opinion on two grown men just getting into an altercation?
I don't know if you said this, Sal. I don't know if you said this or if I've read this online, but AEW's best storylines is the backstage drama.
I didn't say that, but it's absolutely true.
I read something online. It says Punk has had more fights backstage at EW than he had for UFC.
He has.
CM Punk, man, I really, listen, I always thought, me and Sal discussed this yesterday. To me right now, I think, AEW doesn't need him. He was definitely great merchandise seller. I don't think they need him. But then I got to thinking, I was thinking about this after I got off the live stream with Sal, because Sal did bring up really good points that, CM Punk had a pretty big movement in WWE before he left. And, he's had some good matches, and he's always been a name that could draw. So I said yesterday that, and I said it again tonight, that AEW doesn't need him. But then I got to thinking, now we don't have Punk in the mix. You have Moxley, you have Bryan. What happens if Bryan leaves and Moxley leaves? Where does AEW stand?
Well, if Moxley leaves, I think they'll do a lot better.
You think so?
Oh,
He's
he is
terrible.
John Moxley.
William, he is terrible. He is terrible. He's
What do you-
terrible. And he's not terrible like lowest job guy terrible, obviously. But he's terrible that I don't know of a guy who was that over and involved in that many big things who's just not very good. And
Yeah.
really almost embarrassing at what they do.
Great colleague.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that was weird. But see, I look at that and I get it. Like I get why they put the belt on him. Look at him; he's huge.
Yeah, I believe it.
If
That was
if
the
I
longest
was calling the shots in WWE and I brought back CM Punk, I would rib him on live television by letting him cut a promo and then letting the Great Khali interrupt him without him even knowing. It'd be the greatest thing
give him a
to
chop to the
see.
head. That's it.
Yeah, greatest thing to see. Or let Great Khali eliminate him from the Rumble with a chop.
Well, to answer your question though, I don't see Moxley leaving. He is like a staple there.
Oh, he's
I don't
happy
see
as a
Danielson
happy
leaving.
as
I
a
think
clam.
Danielson's a
He can
creative
gig
there
every-
now, so I don't see him leaving.
He's happy. He can gig every night. He can stick things in
Right.
his fucking head. He's loving it. He's
No,
as
yeah,
happy
no,
as can be.
dude. He'll never go as long as AEW is around and thriving. He's never going back to WWE until he's like old and washed up and he wants that Hall of Fame induction.
You think he's
Yep.
an AEW lifer?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Like I
AEW
said,
may
until
not
it's
be
time to
around
get
in
that Hall
another
of
2
Fame
years.
induction to WWE with the Shield as a group, and then he gets the solo one, 2-time Hall of Famer Dean Ambrose. Until that happens, he's not going there, unless AEW goes out of business tomorrow.
Well, that's my next question. A lot of their success has come from bringing in guys, the veterans from the E, right? So they had Cody, they had Jericho, right? They have Danielson, they have Mox, they have Cesaro. He's an ROH guy, but a long tenure in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
If those guys start to dwindle off, do you think the Elite, what's his name? The guy that
The
fought
homegrown
Miro,
talent.
the homegrown talent. Do you think they have enough to keep that company where it is today? Because can we all agree on this? AEW is second to WWE. This is true. They have a lot of room to grow. They put 81,000 fans in the stadium. They're still second to WWE. WWE's still beating
They're
them in the
number
ratings.
3 in a 2-man race.
Yeah, WWE's still beating them in the ratings left and right. But yeah, do they have enough? Does the Elite, does the Young Bucks, do these guys, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, do they have enough star power to keep that company where it is? I don't think they do.
No, they don't. They don't, and for 2 reasons. One is obviously the other guys are coming from a much bigger venue and a much bigger company with more eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2, they haven't done a very good job of building that lower talent.
They haven't
And
at all.
giving them credibilities and names. The average person does not know who Kenny Omega is. That's just a fact. They don't know. They don't know who he is. You ask them who John Cena is, you ask them who CM Punk is, they'll probably know. But they don't know who Kenny Omega is. They never heard of the Young Bucks.
Yeah, and you know what? They had it with Cody because Cody was doing all those extra shows and shit on TBS. But he was like involved. I don't even know what the fuck was going on with him there. But I agree with Pat. I don't think as it stands right now, if those WWE guys, so to speak, were to leave tomorrow, no, not at all, not even close.
Let's see how
They've
the
done
ratings
a terrible
are
job.
now without Punk.
No, yeah, they've done a bad job of building. Like, think about it. Ricky Starks was hot last year, and then he got into a feud with Jericho, cooled him off, and now he got to turn heel again just to get back to somewhat of what he was. Miro was the hottest thing in that company for a minute or two, and then they just took him off TV for a year.
Yeah.
Yep, they come and they die. And
Right.
Punk went there, and he got snuffed out quick.
What
And
about
felt less
Kingston? Kingston
important
was the
before
hottest
too
thing in
long.
wrestling for half a year, and then he, again, coincidentally, feuded with Jericho, and that went bye-bye.
Yeah. And like I said,
Daniel Garcia, they could have built on him last year, being like and then what happened? He teamed with Jericho. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
What did Dennis Rodman do? I missed it. Did Dennis?
So I wasn't watching. I was watching the WWE show, brother.
I'm looking at the ratings. I'm looking at the ratings for the last couple of weeks.
Apparently, it's under 400,000 watched that show last night. Apparently,
Yeah, so August
that's
11th,
terrible.
Rampage didn't break 400,000. WWE same week, 2 million.
The Impact was
for,
better than
SmackDown.
400,000.
Yeah, same
There you
thing.
go.
August 9th, AEW Dynamite 846K.
That's
WWE
where they
Raw.
usually sit at, though.
WWE Raw 1.8 million.
But they'll spin it and say, we got him in the demo. some shit like that. They spin it all the time.
Sal, they'll say anything to obscure the fact that they're not outdrawing WWE in any capacity.
Not even
And I think
NXT.
the problem is that it's like it's okay that they're not, but they're like making it. You know what I mean? Like, bro, WWE's been around fucking 3,000 years.
Yeah.
It's okay that you can't outdraw them yet. I mean, but stop
Don't
making
tell
it
me that you
that
are.
competition.
Yeah. That's my problem. It's that they put on this show, the 81,000 fans, the Wembley All In. You know, that was their WrestleMania. That's what they were calling it. You know, WrestleMania is not the only grandest stage of them all. That's what they said. And then you come out next weekend with a pay-per-view and you're struggling for buildings, you know, for putting asses in seats. And they spun it the same way that you guys were just saying. You know, Tony Khan made a statement. Is like, yeah, we were struggling a little bit at the gate, but it's still $1 million gate, and that's a success to us.
Oh,
Right.
shut
Yeah,
up.
when it's convenient to say that, they'll say it, and then when it's not convenient, they'll say something else. But that's the business. It's a carny business, lest we forget.
Could you imagine WWE having WrestleMania on a Sunday, coming back with Backlash next Sunday? While they're like, I could see it maybe on the Peacock because it's a subscription service, but to make your
Right.
fans pay $50 2 weeks in a row, and because you just don't want to skip out on a tradition of being on Labor Day, get the fuck out of here.
It's Labor Day weekend. Kids are going back to schools. The demo is probably 35-year-old dads that live in basement apartments. That's it's rough. I was kind of pissed off by it. I was like, you're gonna spend me $100 to watch Lana debut at All Out?
Is that what happened?
Yeah, apparently Lana debuted tonight. I don't know what her name is.
She with Miro?
Yeah, she's with me, I guess.
Well, good. See, there's an example of WWE being stupid and breaking up that team for no reason. Just to clearly Rusev pissed somebody off in that company, and they just fucked with him for 2 years.
He was so on fire. He was great in that run right up till he lost to John Cena. And I always get pissed off because it's not because he lost to Cena that killed him. It's what they followed him up with that killed him. Like, you could lose to people, it's like, but how do you follow up with that? And they just started having him feud with Lana.
It's strange. And then Bobby, they had to cuck him on live TV.
Yeah, a couple times, I think, right? Didn't that happen a couple times?
Of course.
So apparently, CJ Perry Lana makes her AEW debut, poses on the ramp while Miro is getting choked out in the ring.
See, there you go. That's AEW, baby. No sense, no reason.
She was posing on the entrance ramp while Miro was getting choked out. Okay.
Well, William, anything else on CM Punk, or are we ready to shift the conversation? Because I did bring something with me to tell you guys today.
Yeah, let's shift the conversation. I think I've had enough of CM Punk. I could care less, and Tony Khan still looks like a fucking gerbil to me.
Yeah, I'm intrigued what Patrick has brought with him.
All right, wait, we're getting some breaking news. We're getting breaking news by PJ Stackpole.
I won't call it breaking news, but there's very little good in wrestling these days, as near as I can tell. WWE's doing some good stuff, but I watched a documentary on the Peacock, and I cannot recommend it more. Angle, the Kurt Angle story.
I was about to watch it once I get off the call with you guys.
Say what?
I'm about to watch it as soon as I get off the call with you guys.
Oh, bro, enjoy it. Enjoy it, Sal, because I had no idea that Angle was in such a dark place, number one. That's what stuck out with me the most, the tail end. It's got very little on his WWE career. It's much more about him, the person, and him, the man, and what he's done. And I still don't think that documentary, as good as it was and as much as they portrayed him as being great, I don't think they I think they undersold him for how good he was. And if he had stayed in WWE and not gone on the drugs and then gone to TNA, he probably would be now considered the best of all time, or at least a 1A or a 1B.
I could see that. I mean, but his TNA run was really good, which just happened in TNA.
It was good, but it was sad because you knew, and we knew at the time how.
Well, you know what though? If you look back at some of those matches, the matches with Joe, with Styles,
it was Perk Angle. We call it Perk Angle now.
I know, but It was a really good run there. It's just it wasn't
He was
WWE.
killing
It
it, but you
wasn't.
were watching a man. You were watching a man on a death run.
Well, now I know that. I didn't know it at the time. I knew he was getting arrested for drunk driving.
A
every
lot
other
of people
week,
knew it at the time. It was sad. It was just tough to watch. Doing moonsaults every night. You don't got to do that. It's crazy. Jumping off the ramp, jumping off the Titantron. Like, stop.
Yeah. Did you see the Cody Rhodes documentary on the Peacock?
I did.
That was really good too.
He's
I thought
just
that
a
was
little
really
weird to me, Cody. There's something off about him. There's just something a
Is
little off.
Is it like the molding on his eye?
Well, the neck tattoo is really fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
But
But
the way he
I feel like
talks, his
me and
eyes,
Ian
his
walked into a
cadence.
place. If me or Ian walked into a place with a neck tattoo, it's like, all right, that fits. But like with him, he
Yeah,
looks like the all-American.
Exactly. Then you wear a suit over it like you're classy. You have a neck tattoo.
My grandmother thinks he's really handsome. My 85-year-old grandmother. We were watching wrestling. He came on the screen. She said, "Who's that?" I said, "That's Cody Rhodes." And her exact words were, "It's a handsome feller." I said, "Okay, Grandma, take it easy."
I would have said, Grandma, that's the grandson of a plumber and the son of a dream.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. CM Punk, he's gone, and I hope to never see him. No, I'm kidding. We'll hopefully see him back in WWE. And is All Out done yet? All Out's still going, right? It's not even.
Well, what time is it? What time?
It's
yeah, they go on for like another hour and a half, probably.
They're not
Yeah,
even.
they go late. They go late.
I'm looking at the trends right now in the U.S. They're not even trending high on Twitter, so the show must not be that good.
Bro,
I just feel like they're bringing in the same audience and just ringing them for everything they're worth. They got that 800,000 people that are seemingly going to watch no matter what until they just start to inevitably move on, and that's going to be the end. It's going to just be a slow, painful decline.
Yeah, I agree. Listen,
what did you think of the pay-per-view last night? Did you watch it?
I didn't. I'll catch up to it. I was out last night. I was out all day today, but I will eventually. I've read it. I read the highlights. I love it, Sal. I love Dominic Mysterio. I'm old enough to remember when people said he was the worst thing ever. I can remember people hating him. Now, Dom's got to be one of the most over things ever. I know the Judgment Day just took all the straps. I kind of jealous. I feel like we did the Judgment Day before the Judgment Day did the Judgment Day. But that's a story for another day.
We were a good version of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we had a stint in the ring with what's his face, Vince Russo.
Oh yeah, remember that? That was fun. That was a fun time.
Some of the best moments I've ever had in my life were involved you two fine gentlemen.
Yeah, man. Time. Verna was here the other day. The Man of Steel, Mike Verna. He was here. Yeah. We were both of you guys' names came up multiple times. So
did you send Ian the picture you sent me the other night?
The what?
The picture you sent me the other night? Did you send that to Ian too?
I don't think I did.
It's the picture of me, us three, and Leon, in going over our match at the extravaganza, the I Quit match.
All gimmicked out. It's tremendous.
Right. The last picture of all four of us in the same space at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Actually, that's the last time all four of us have been in the same space at the same time. Not just the last picture, the last time.
Yeah.
Probably right.
Well, never say never, folks.
Never say never.
I mean, I wouldn't be. I would love to hang out with you guys, but as far as wrestling, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess, maybe.
Listen, I'm not returning to wrestling unless I'm fighting CM Punk.
Well, that's more of a possibility this weekend than last. So
get Troy on the phone. Tell him to make it happen. He's another guy that I would love to get on here. But all right.
Troy?
So
what if CM Punk agrees to wrestle you, but you have to do the Pizza Man gimmick?
Listen, I will go buy the cans of Tuda Russo tomato sauce right now to bring with me to the ring. I'll hand them out to the crowd. I'll hand out little cans of tomato paste to the audience when I come out.
Finishing move will be the pie face.
Yeah, it'll be the salty salami.
The anchovy.
Well, we spoke about CM Punk for an hour, which has been more time than I ever want to spend on CM Punk.
You know who we got to get on here to talk about CM Punk? Mikey Cortez, Superstar Whiplash. Hates him. He hates him more than PJ does 10 times as much.
So he messaged me. I don't like to read my messages. My private messages on here, but I think he's okay. He messaged me and he was like, "Oh, CM Punk got fired," and I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Good. He's a fucking scrub."
Why does he hate him so much?
Because he thinks he sucks. Mikey's hated him since, at least the day that I've met Mikey. So that would have been almost 10 years ago now, right?
In my opinion, one of the worst elbow drops in the business.
Oh, not question.
Yeah.
Without question. Alex has a much better one.
Alex does have a much better elbow drop. But one of the worst elbow drops I've ever seen. Does the Macho Man thing, and then he just fucking does half elbow, half leg drop, and... Well,
lands like a pile of shit on his ass.
Yeah.
So what do we got next? What's up?
So thank you, PJ, for joining us.
Patrick.
My pleasure, guys. Anytime.
This was fun. I know that we've been trying to get you on here for a little while, and I made you a little banner for when you call in. So when we call you, so this is going to be more frequent than not.
I do have a camera here, so maybe next time we'll look up the Skype, make it a little easier, so I can look in your beady little eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get you on more frequently. Maybe we'll have it'll be part of our regular panel.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I got nothing but time.
Great input on the wrestling business. We love having you, Pat, and thank you for coming by, buddy.
My pleasure, fellas. Enjoy the show. Good luck to you. I know you'll do great. I love you both, and I'm sure we'll see each other sometime, somewhere, under some circumstance.
Yes. Love you, Patrick.
All right, gentlemen. Carry on.
Thank you, Patrick.
Patrick, I miss him.
What a great fucking guy, man. I love Patrick. I want to just listen. I want to just. You know what? Matter of fact, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go drive to Brooklyn and give him a hug. So listen. We spent the better part of an hour talking about CM Punk. We got great input from Patrick Stackpole. I don't know what's left to say. Maybe a little wrestling trivia.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We're supposed to get into the clip of the week too.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Listen. Let's do the clip of the week. I have one thing to say about it, and then we'll move on to wrestling trivia. Let's get into the clip of the week right now, actually. One thing. Stupid.
I know you hated it.
I hated it so much. Listen, I don't understand. Hey, what's up, bud? How you doing? Making a guest appearance.
Say hi, King.
Hi.
He can't hear you because you're in my ear, but
good. Thank goodness. So I could swear. No, I'm kidding. I would never. It was totally unnecessary. And it hurts the business. Moves like that, in my opinion, hurt the business. Yes, they're fun. Listen, you want to do it in front of a crowd where there's no cameras? Fine. This thing is plastered all over Twitter, and everybody disliked it. A lot of people disliked it. People that were like, listen, I've been an AEW fan since the inception. I love AEW. It's all I watch, and I thought this was stupid.
I'm not a fan of that either, but I mean,
they got to start.
It seems to be
these guys
the business is now. They should, but it's the problem is these are the guys that if a older veteran or whatever said, hey guys, maybe don't do it like that, they're gonna be like, yeah, sure, and then they're gonna go do it anyway. There is no real veteran mentorship structure there, unless it's the people telling them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
So that's going to keep happening. Am I a fan of it? No, but it's also, dude, that's also just where the business seems to be nowadays. It's just, that's where it is, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you feel about it. But that's just where the business is at the moment. So
Yeah, I mean,
not
listen,
a fan of it either. But
we see it in WWE all the time. They do like, the Usos will do like 10 super kicks in a match.
Yeah.
We see it. It happens. It is what it is. But listen, I get it.
It's not in every single match in WWE though.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that.
in almost
happens
every single match in
in-
AEW.
Yeah, WWE. It might happen in like a big time spot, as far as something like exchange like that. But it's not every single match. Where in AEW, it's literally from the top match to the bottom.
I hated it. I hated every minute of it. I like Orange Cassidy though, and I really like Penta. I've said that on here, so I'm gonna stick to that.
I do like both of them a lot too.
Absolutely hated the spot. All right, so let's get into some wrestling trivia
Okay.
right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hot Tag Trivia. I am your host, Billy, here with my stupendous contestant, Sal. And this is a trivia show where I put 60 seconds on the clock and I try to stump Sal's wrestling knowledge, give him some hints, and he has to guess who the wrestler is. He is 2-0 on this show. He has very easily won. So this week, I am gonna stump him if it's the last thing I do.
All right.
All right, Sal.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I am not. I thought long and hard, and that's a problem because my brain doesn't work well. So let's put 60 seconds on the clock.
All right, let's do this.
And
I'm excited to see who this is.
I hope that you get stumped. Okay. He was born May 2nd, 1963.
Okay.
And he died in 2004. One of his ring names was the Guardian Angel. He was 6'7", so he's a tall feller. He made his debut in 1985. He was WWF Hardcore Champion 4 times in his career.
Big boss man.
My goodness gracious, Sal. You got it.
You said
You
the
got
Guardian Angel, it was starting to click for me. I was like, okay, yeah, okay.
Well,
I was going off the Guardian Angel thing, and then you said he died, and I was like, it's got to be Big Boss Man.
you know, Sal, I'm so sick of your knowledge. Well, thanks for playing Hot
This is a
Tag
good one.
Trivia.
This is probably the best one we've done so far.
Yeah, right? I actually put effort into this one. Well, thank you guys for joining us for Hot Tag Trivia. And of course, if you guys have any questions you would like Sal to try and answer, DM me, Hot Tag Podcast, on Instagram or Facebook, and I will get your questions on the air live.
We
Till
should have
next
had
time.
TJ on it. We should have had TJ on for this. He would have had a good question. You probably have like some questions too that he could feed you.
Next time we got PJ coming back on here, we'll get him in here. So when he does Skype, so I could, see him squirm while I ask him the questions.
Oh yeah, this would be great.
Oh, Salvatore, we did great this week. An hour and
Other
4
than
minutes.
talking about CM Punk for fucking God knows how long.
Listen, I'm never talking about him ever again.
Oh no, I mean, probably until Survivor Series.
Yeah, probably until Survivor Series when he debuts for WWE.
Oh God. I hope we never talk about it again. That's been terrible. I mean, I love Punk, I do, but I'm just happy that whole ordeal is. I mean, it's not over yet because there's still stuff coming out. But
Punk still has to make a statement. Apparently, Punk is going to make a statement sometime tomorrow.
Whatever. Tomorrow. Whatever.
I think so. That's what I read
Let
on
him
Twitter.
let him make whatever statement he wants. Who cares at this point? It's over. I hope he shows up somewhere because I am not ready to not see him ever again. But if he doesn't, I mean,
I think I'm gonna go catch I was gonna go catch the ending of All Out, but I have to take a poop, so I'm gonna go do that instead.
You have fun.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share this with your friends because we're very shareable guys, us two.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, Sal, hit him with the punch, the tagline.
Keep it tight.